Hey guys, Scarlett here. I have my coffee this morning and I kind of just wanted to chat with you guys about something that's been on my mind lately. And I think when we look at witchcraft on social media, a lot of our perceptions around this practice can get a bit warped. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm browsing witch talk or witches of Instagram, I kind of get discouraged occasionally about my own witchcraft practice. And there were 5 things in particular that I noticed that just didn't really fit my own perspectives and my own personal experiences with witchcraft. And I wanted to go over those today. So today we're going to be talking about 5 things I think witches aren't always honest about on social media. And of course, this is just meant to be a fun video. I'm not trying to drag anyone. I'm only making this because if you, like myself, ever feel a bit discouraged when looking at witchcraft and how it appears on social media, I want you to know that you're not alone here. And I think that, a lot of these platforms portray a version of witchcraft that isn't always accurate to reality. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is encounters with deities. Now, if you've watched, some of my previous videos about the differences between, witchcraft and Wicca or paganism, you'll know that you don't need to work with deities for witchcraft, though many people do. And one of the things you'll see a lot on social media is witches talking about the deities that they work with. Maybe it's a patron god or goddess, or maybe they have, a lot of deities that they work with, and they make it sound like they are in constant connection and dialogue with their deities that they work with. And, I'm kind of confused about that. When I have experienced deity in my own life, and of course this is, maybe completely different with other witches, it's not been, hearing something from a deity or seeing a deity, appear in my room or anything like that. It's been more subtle, it's been more vague, it's been moments of inspiration, moments of feeling connected. What I don't experience is leaving an offering for a deity, say, like leaving an offering for Athena, and then kind of hearing, her talking back to me, or, saying she wants something or she wants something from me, or, I'm just not in that type of a dialogue when it comes to deity. And when you look on social media, it seems like a lot of other people are, that they're constantly having these interactions, these conversations, these moments with deity. And I don't know if that's an exaggeration on their part or if that's really happening. It very may well be that's the case. But I just wanted to share with you that you can still have a meaningful connection with deities even if you're never experiencing their presence directly. When you look at a historical context for paganism, deities very rarely appeared or gave messages to individuals. If you look at the Greek pantheon, for example, you pretty much needed to be a hero before any deity took any interest in you. So it was very rare, I think, historically, to have kind of these dialogues with a deity. So it's totally normal and fine if you, like myself, kind of experience deity just in moments of feeling connection, in moments of inspiration that aren't as concrete as some of the other ways people are portraying their experiences. The next thing I wanted to talk about is spell work and how effective spell work can be. A lot of times I see and hear people say, oh, I did this spell and what I asked for happened right away, or it was easy. These things just happen for me. And that's not really my experience when it comes to spell work that I've done previously. And it could just be I'm not that great a witch. I definitely am willing to admit that. But in my view, spell work isn't really just something you do and then whatever you want happens right away. In my perspective, spell work can help tip the scales in your favor, but you're still gonna need to put in some work. For example, say you have an exam coming up and you do a spell to help you pass the exam. I think you're still gonna need to do a little studying. I think that spell could help you through the process of studying and, potentially tip the scales in your favor, but I'm not of the belief that you can just do a spell, forget it, and then trust that whatever you wished for is going to happen. And sometimes I think people give that perspective on social media, that that's the case. And in my personal experience, it just hasn't been. I have had some successful spells, but I've never had a spell that I've just set it and forget it and didn't have to put in a little extra work. So I just wanted to share that with you if you've ever felt frustrated with spells not working or not being as effective as you think they should be. The next thing I want to talk about is how social media portrays the idea that you need to own a lot of witchy stuff. Now, this is something I've definitely discussed in several other of my videos where I've talked about being more of a minimalist witch, and some of my frustrations with the primary way we're interacting with social media and witchcraft is through the visual. Through seeing people's altar photos, through seeing people's collections of stuff. And I think that would be really intimidating for me if I was just starting out. Luckily, when I was starting out with witchcraft, this was kind of before the era of social media, so I never really felt that pressure that I needed to own a lot of things in order to be a good witch. And I think having a collection of crystals and statues and things like that, it can definitely be fun. It can enhance maybe your spell work or your rituals or your altars, but it's definitely not necessary. And I think when you look at the historic witch, one of the things that characterized them is that they were resourceful. They worked with what they had. Usually witches historically did not have a lot of money. They lived in the edge of town and they used the natural resources at their disposal. So the primary tools they used were things they could find out in the woods. So, making a wand or a broom or using herbs and plants in their spell work. And to me, I think tapping back into that historical perspective of witchcraft, I find that really fulfilling. Unfortunately, it's not always the easiest to portray something like that on social media. It's never going to look as nice as a crystal collection, or a collection of fancy statues. But to me, that's what drew me to witchcraft in the first place. I wanted to get more connected to nature. I wanted to find the beauty and the power in the natural world. So if all you have access to right now for your witchcraft practice is a park, a field, a stream, that's more than enough. And that's all the historic witches had. So I love the idea of just being resourceful with what you have access to and to try and bring in nature as much as possible into your practice. So if you ever feel pressure that you need to have a massive collection of books or crystals or tarot decks or anything like that, don't worry about it too much. You can be a really amazing witch or pagan with just access to the natural world. Next, I want to talk about paranormal experiences and the frequency of paranormal experiences. So I personally do believe in ghosts. I've had one paranormal experience in my life, but I feel like on social media, and not just social media, you see this in TV shows like Ghost Hunters and all of that kind of stuff. It gives the perception that paranormal experiences are happening very often and that you might interact with ghosts or the deceased or spirits or poltergeists on a regular basis. And I'm just here to tell you that I think a lot of people exaggerate when it comes to sharing their paranormal experiences. While I do believe in those things to a certain extent, I also think it's rare. I think someone's lucky if they have maybe 2 to 3 paranormal experiences in their life. So I just want to caution you that if you hear someone and they're talking about how, they're constantly getting messages from the dead, or that they're, seeing ghosts all the time, that's necessarily not accurate. Sure, it may be. I could be completely off base here. But in my personal opinion, paranormal experiences are awesome, but rare. So don't ever feel bad if you've never had one. It might be for the best. So I just wanted to share that too, because it's something that you definitely see a lot, both online, on TV. It seems like everyone and their mother is running into a ghost these days. And I just wanted to share that that's probably not really the case. Lastly, I wanted to talk about psychic abilities. So similarly to paranormal experiences, I think psychic abilities are also rare. I think that we all have an ability to grow our intuition. It's something that we're born with. It's a skill that we can develop. But I think that true psychic abilities, aren't something you're likely to develop. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule, perhaps. I think that many of us use divinatory tools like tarot and runes because they help us with these psychic abilities, both developing them and getting a better understanding on the collective unconscious, our own subconscious, potentially even the future. But to a certain extent, we need these tools because many of us don't just channel information down. And the perception you might see on the internet, especially when you look at tarot readers, is that they are just constantly seeing the future, constantly channeling information from deities or from the deceased, and that is a normal thing that happens to people. Sure, it might be true, it might happen, but if that's not your experience of using a divinatory tool like tarot, don't fret. I'm definitely not like that. That's why I really focus my tarot practice around symbolism and really understanding what the cards are visually portraying, because I don't have amazing psychic abilities, if I'm honest. Yes, I think my intuition has improved over the years of practice, but I'm never going to be able to fully predict someone's future. And I've made peace with that. I think that's okay. It's something that is rare for someone to be able to do that. And I just wanted to let you know that that's fine if you're not there either. I think a lot of witches, tend to exaggerate on their divinatory abilities. And divination should be fun, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something that is intimidating or scary. I think you should just have fun with it, practice with it, work on building your intuition, but don't be stressed out if you aren't all of a sudden channeling all of this information from the beyond. That's totally okay too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't step on too many toes. That definitely was not my intention. I just wanted to share with you some things that have come to my mind lately as I've been browsing the internet, in hopes that witchcraft is something that's fun. I want you to find it fun and enjoyable, and sometimes it can appear kind of intimidating online. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy these more kind of casual chit-chat videos versus my more scripted historical videos, let me know, because I love to hear from you guys what kinds of content you enjoy from me. So please let me know down in the comments. And if you can think of other things that in your opinion witches aren't always being honest about, I'd love to hear that down below in the comments as well. And thank you guys so much for watching, for spending a few minutes with me. Of course, if you are new here, welcome. I create videos every week, and I also do a pagan happy hour live chat every Friday at 5 p.m. Central. So I hope to see you there. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.